Oh, it's time? I'm so sorry. Didn't know you were there. My name is Philip Carlock, principal at Stevens Elementary School. Today, we're going to read Chapter 8 in Billy Shore, Kid Entrepreneur. I'm so excited to read this book to you, but first I want to tell you the importance of reading. I read in basically everything that I do, from the emails that my boss sends to parent letters, student letters, books that I have to read for professional development. I can imagine my world without reading. So as we read today and enjoy this book, I want you to understand that reading is in basically everything we do. And reading is fun. So enjoy this book with me, Chapter 8, Billy Shore, Kid Entrepreneur. Chapter 8, The Inventor Who Became a Zombie. Now that I've got a deadline, I'm spending every spare moment I can find working on the sibling silencer. I've got it to the point where it doesn't make siblings sound like animals, but they still speak gibberish. This is what happened the last time I tested my prototype on Emily. You better not be pointing that stupid thing at me again, because I'm going to tell Woofy. Funny, but not silent. Far from it. Emily actually seemed to get a little louder after I zapped her with the remote control. I've been working on the sibling silencer late into the night at my desk. My days are all the same. Get up early to work on the sibling silencer, go to school, go to the office to work on the sibling silencer, come home to eat Dad's bad dinner, do my homework, work on the sibling silencer, and sleep. On the weekends, I just leave out the school part. Oh, and walk Philo. I do that too. But I've been making the walks shorter and shorter to save time. And our appearance on Wake Up America is getting closer and closer. At school one day, I fall asleep at lunch. I end up face down in my sloppy Joe. Somebody takes a picture and posts it on the internet with the caption, "Genius at work." Luckily, with my face in my lunch, you can't really tell if it's me or not. It could be anyone. It's tough to stay awake in class, too. At school one day, I fall asleep at lunch. I end up face down in my sloppy Joe. Somebody takes a picture and posts it on the internet with the caption, "Genius at work." Luckily, with my face in my lunch, you can't really tell if it's me or not. It could be anyone. It's tough to stay awake in class, too. In science, Mr. P calls me up to the front to help him explain the science of color. I practically fall asleep leaning against the board and get red mark on my face. Jenny Starling raises her hand and asks, "Mr. P, what's the science of getting color all over your face?" Everyone laughs. I walk through the halls like a zombie. Dressing up like a zombie for Halloween is really fun, but actually feeling like a zombie, not so much fun. A sixth grader runs up to me. "Hey, sure." I turn to him and mumble, "Yes?" "I've got this great idea for an invention." He lowers his voice so no one else can hear him. The next day, I'm in the office, twirling the rods of the foosball game, knocking the balls back and forth from one end of the table to the other. Clop, 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 clop. I guess if Manny can play chess against himself, I can play foosball against myself. Except I'm not really playing, I'm thinking. When he hears me knocking the ball back and forth, Manny looks up from his sales figures. "Want to play a game?" "No, thanks," I say. "I'm thinking, what about?" "The candy brush?" "I had a thought about the flavor conversion unit. I'd like to test it out, but I'll need some new materials." Manny looked concerned. "That's great, Billy, but what about the sibling silencer? We gotta go on that TV show and introduce it and just, I know, I shouted, surprising Manny and myself. Philo jumps to his feet to see what the matter is. It's like a balloon of worry and guilt and stress has been getting bigger and bigger inside me until I finally pop. I take a deep breath. I know, I say more quietly. I haven't forgotten. Manny gets up and comes over to the foosball table. What's wrong? I know you're under a lot of pressure to come up with this sibling silencer, but you'll do it, just like you did the all ball. It's time to tell him. I'm sick of this secret. Maybe I'm finally fed up, or maybe I'm just tired, but either way, it's time to come clean to Manny. I didn't. Manny looks totally confused. Didn't what? Didn't come up with the all ball. I'm a complete fraud. For a second, Manny's speechless. You mean you stole the idea for the all ball? I shook my head. No, I didn't steal it. It was given to me. By who? I don't know. Manny sits down on the closest chair. Okay, I'm totally confused. You didn't invent the all ball, but you didn't steal it? Someone gave it to you, but you don't know who? So I tell him everything about how I was struggling with the plans for the all ball, trying for the breakthrough that would make it possible, about how I went to bed, and in the morning the blueprints were right there on my desk in my bedroom, and how I was so excited to have the solution to the problem. I just shared it with Manny, forgetting to mention how I got it. And then the whole thing just took off like a rocket. I was too busy and guilty to tell Manny where the plans came from. I'm afraid Manny's going to be mad at me for holding out on him, but he isn't. He's just confused. That's bizarre. Why would someone draw up blueprints and then give them to you anonymously and never come forward, even when the all ball's a huge success? Who would do that? We talk about my family since they were right there in the house. Emily? No, doesn't make sense, Manny says emphatically. Your dad? He's a good artist. I bet he could draw plans. That's what I thought. But inventing's not his thing, or keeping secrets. Your mom, was she at home then? Yeah, she was home. I guess it's possible she did it, but I don't get why she wouldn't say, here, I did this for you. She knows how guilty this secret would make me feel, and she wouldn't want to do that. Guilty, Manny says, making a face. Listen, whoever left those blueprints for you wanted you to use them. They wanted you to make the all ball, and you did. So you did exactly what they wanted you to do. You have nothing to feel guilty about. Somehow, I never thought about it that way. I feel about 10,000 times better. Reason number 1001, why Manny is the greatest CFO and best friend. He always makes me feel better when I'm super low. How about a slice? Manny suggests. We go to the pizza dispenser and pick up our toppings. Okay, Manny says, after he's bitten through a long string of mozzarella cheese. Now I understand why you've been feeling like a fraud. But let me ask you something. Before these mysterious blueprints showed up, had you done some work on the all ball? I chew and swallow. Yeah, of course. You know I had tons of work. I'd been working for weeks. And were the blueprints completely different from anything you've come up with? No, they followed the same lines I'd been following, but they solved a couple of crucial problems that had stumped me. Manny smiled. That's what I thought. See, you're not a fraud at all. You're still an inventor. I've known you a long time, and I think you're a genius. That's really nice to hear. I don't think Manny's ever actually called me that. Emily's called me a genius lots of times, but she's always being sarcastic. I can tell that Manny really means it. Manny finishes his slice. He picks up a small all ball and starts tossing it up towards the ceiling and catching it. So it seems to me that you've just lost your confidence. The mystery of where these blueprints came from is eating you up inside. I pick up an all balls remote and aim it at the ball. When it goes up, it's a golf ball. When it comes down, it's a tennis ball. Manny catches it and tosses it like he doesn't even notice the change. What we have to do, Manny continues, is solve that mystery so you can stop thinking about it and concentrate on the sibling silencer. The ball goes up a tennis ball and comes down a hockey puck. How are we going to solve it, I ask. I don't know, Manny admits, but figuring out a way to solve the blueprint mystery is my number one priority. Right now, that is the most important thing. The ball goes up a hockey puck and comes down a ping pong ball. More important than sales figures, I ask with a smile. Manny, so shocked by the idea, he drops the ping pong ball. It bounces across the garage floor and Philo chases it. Let's not get crazy, Manny says. That's the end of chapter 8. I hope that you enjoyed it. Continue reading. Billy Shore, Kids Entrepreneur.